morning.
Good, good,
Good evening.
good evening. It's nearly 9 o'clock here, Kari.
And good
It's
night.
about when the listener is listening.
Oh yes,
So,
good morning, listener.
You're
It's
allowed
6
to
a.m.
listen
for
in the
you
morning.
because you listen to
Morning.
this as soon as
Yeah,
it
'cause
drops
you
every
get up
Friday at 6
You
a.m.
wake up bright and early. To be fair, probably for
wake up-
most people, it's not the morning because do you use 6 a.m. PST or PDT, whatever, right?
PST.
So
Let's
it's
not
probably
go there.
that's probably midday or late midday for most of the
I
world.
doubt people are watching podcasts at 6 in the morning, though.
On their commute to work, bro.
speak to yourself. Yeah.
We're coming to you through breaking news all the time. It's
Literally
important to
breakfast.
And then
Like you're
again,
eating
I don't wake
breakfast.
up that early. So.
Yeah.
You're unemployed. You barely get out of bed.
I'm not looking forward to the grind every day waking up.
The grind.
Ready to
Get
be a
out
wage
of
slave
here.
again, Colton.
The day-to-day grind.
Wage slave.
Waking
up with all the old folks.
Get out of here, dude.
Oh boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well,
You work from home. You can't complain. Go away.
Hmm?
How do you work from home? Really?
at a
I
time
wish
I
I
like
could work
this.
from home.
I glue together Cheerios and then I ship them to a guy in India.
You eat them.
He pays me. Yeah, I eat half of them, but he pays me
You're eating the glue.
$400 a
Yeah,
day.
you just eat the
Yeah.
glue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the glue, but I eat the Cheerios as well, just to justify it.
I get the
It'd be
fiber to
weird.
help with the glue.
Yeah, it helps break it down.
Fair
Otherwise,
enough,
my
fair enough.
poop.
Speaking
gets
of
stuck in
breaking
my
it down,
butt.
let's break down some shots.
It's true.
There we go. We got
What
three
do we
different
got
things
here?
for you today.
Some kind of
I'll
ghost.
start it
That was
off.
Some sort?
toxic.
I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, finally. I've started it like 3 or 4 times since it came out, and I've always just kind of fallen off, but now it's got its hooks in me, and now I'm very addicted to it.
What
But-
about it? Like, is it what's the?
Yeah, I don't know. The first few times I played it, the combat, I don't know if I just wasn't into that kind of game at the time or wasn't in the mood for it or if I just wasn't clicking. Because it's kind of like a little bit like Assassin's Creed, like Batman Arkham kind of games where you kind of like, it's more
Oh.
like sit there and react kind of things. But then there's
Right.
like a couple different like samurai stances that you learn throughout the game that are better against like, there's one that's better against people with shields. There's one against swords, spears, and then one that's good against like the big brutes that you can like quickly switch between as like they're attacking or a different guy's attacking. That's all kind of fun. And I don't know if when I first started playing it, I was like, I don't want to do this. But now when I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, it's nice. It's fluid. It feels really good. A lot of fun.
Nice.
But
Is the story good?
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I won't do any spoilers for that 'cause I'm sure you'll might play it one day. But yeah, it's good.
I think I might.
But yeah, I mainly brought them because it is just so pretty. So
Nice.
very
Yeah,
pretty.
these are nice.
I've been using the photo mode throughout the game, getting stuff like this. And it's cool. Like at a glance, like even when you're playing it, like you kind of like gloss over that you kind of just look at it, you're like, oh, this looks real. But like when you look at it, it's like almost, especially the environments are kind of like almost toon shaded with like realistic lighting. And I think they like
Mhm.
maybe do that kind of route so they can get away with like pretty much everywhere you go on the map. There's like tons and tons of particles, or like the foliage like this is just lush everywhere, blowing in the wind. And like the wind is like a
Nice.
big mechanic of the game where like there's no like mini map or HUD. You can like ping things on your map, but then when you like
Mhm.
you swipe up on the controller, and then the wind will like point in the direction. You can see like the wind gust go and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, these are just
That's
all
awesome.
very big. The photo mode is really cool too. I feel like photo mode's just been getting better and better too, where it's like you can pause, you can orbit around, whatever, change focal length, depth of field, but you can also change the time of day, and you can change like the weather and like the cloud position and stuff, like just like dynamically. And it's kind of cool. You can
Nice.
kind of see how like it's not like just like there's not like one big like kind of like cycle. Like you can see it like it goes like a little bit and then it kind of like quickly fades into like another like time of day. So it's like they're very like stylized different time of days where it's like never like kind of like a boring, like there's never just like the sun top down type of day where everything's kind of like flat and boring. There's always like, no matter what time of day it is, there's always like very cinematic and pretty. But Yeah,
It's awesome.
just very
I wonder if there's teams just dedicated to making a photo mode for every game.
probably.
Kind of funny. Or like
Probably.
your expertise is just
I
like
mean,
I do photo mode and that only.
on that topic, I was playing Gran Turismo, and their photo mode is pretty crazy too, where it's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff Cade was talking about, but they have
Right.
this additional thing where you can render your photo,
Oh
so
wow,
it puts it through a full like path tracer.
Oh
that's
wow.
pretty
So
cool.
like,
That's
you-
cool. So then
yeah,
it like
so you-
looks a little
like
bit better. Yeah.
I hit a button, it's like a 5 to 10 second loading screen. It'll like render it for me, and it'll just have bounce light and everything, like
That's really cool.
going all out there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Very cool.
yeah, photo moves are cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll definitely play the game because I immediately assumed that it was Elden Ring type gameplay, so I wasn't super interested. But I was wrong. I
Yeah.
had another buddy recommend it, my cousin actually.
Gotcha.
But
But yeah, I
yeah,
definitely
it's on the
recommend it.
list.
Check it out.
Cool.
We'll move on.
Cool. All right. What do we got here? Kari, what did you bring?
What did you bring us, Kari?
You have some shots from Point Break,
I knew.
Woo!
and it's classic, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just felt like bringing it. Some cool. The reasons these are all obviously very famous shots, but just kind of that overcast. There's like
Mhm.
no lighting here. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the cool.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it. So you kind of can appreciate that, even though there's not even. I mean, you just see what's going on. It's like bare minimum, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like natural.
Yeah.
It's still a very powerful scene. Like,
yeah, cinematic and like movie, but like with just natural lighting.
mm-hmm.
I haven't
Yep.
seen this movie, so all I'm expecting right now is just surfers having a good time.
Yeah.
You should. I think you should watch it, Colton. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of those like film buff classics.
Mhm.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
the main reason I watched it, but it's actually really entertaining too. Like, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's not just
Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
yeah.
That's one of those things when everyone says it's like, oh, it's one of the classics. You got to watch it. I feel like I have a never-ending list that I just feel
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. I'm even using Letterboxd when everyone says, oh, you should watch this movie. Like my list is getting so fucking long to the
I know,
point where I'm
mine
like,
too. Yeah.
feel depressed a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch a movie a day to get, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
To
of movies
surpass
out there.
I watched this while I was working out, so
Mm.
just watch them on the treadmill.
Nice, smart.
Yeah,
Good point. Good point.
Very cool. Very cool.
Speaking of dramatic fog,
Dramatic lighting. Yeah.
what is this?
What'd you bring
I
us,
recently-
Colton?
Maybe like a few months back, I played Limbo again just to reminisce because I love the art, I love the setting, tone, everything about it is just up my alley. The brutalism, architecture, and the desolate world landscape. And I just feel with the lighting in this game is so, again, like what Kari said, dramatic and I don't know.
But you said
beautiful.
limbo, but you
Oh, sorry, I
are you
meant
leading
inside.
into this?
I
Yeah.
meant-
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all good.
that. Yeah, I just it was a really good experience, and I rewatched their GDC talk again yesterday just to I don't know,
Yeah, that's
watch
such a
something and
classic.
refresh. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like I kind of understand what they did for just a lot of like to save on the lighting, like all the volumetrics. They've just optimized a certain way with like different types of noise and. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't understand post that conversation. Like it was just really, really smart talk, and I'm very happy for them to make a great product. Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
cool.
they're smart people. Wasn't there
Yeah.
like some drama about this? Like
I think
the
just the
team that they
company.
split up, or
Yeah, which is
because they made that new
unfortunate.
game, or one half of them made, was it Nowhere or
Never heard of
Replaced?
it.
No, Replaced. No, there's a Limbo like, not Limbo like, an Inside like game.
I'm not sure.
It's on Games Pass. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Well, their developers
But it's
Play
something-
Dead, so let's see what else they've done.
Yeah,
Oh, so it must be a different company because it only says
Yeah, I think
Inside and
it's
Limbo.
It's like ex play dev people or something.
yeah from. It's a big game. It's on Somerville.
Somerville. Okay, let's check this out.
Somerville. Somer. Um, but I heard it didn't do as hot, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, I don't know the story of who's quote
Oh
unquote in the
yeah.
right or the wrong or
Oh
what's
wow.
going on. Um, but I still wouldn't mind to play it just because I like Inside so
Yeah,
much. And
visuals look stunning. So
yeah, definitely looks
oh, there's a game
pretty.
that's coming
Yeah, it
out
does
that
look similar.
actually sorry, I was just gonna bring it up if you guys remember it. It's like a little cute character and it's like oh boy, that does narrow it down. But it's almost like he's fighting little devil characters and it's like in a bleak gray world. You know what? Let me pause on that. I'll find it and I'll bring it up later
Okay.
because it's similar visual style. It looked really cute.
Gotcha.
I'll look that in the meantime.
Nice. Yeah, very pretty. I still haven't played these games, but I would like to. I think I own them all. I've started them both. I haven't even played Limbo. Like I've played them both like 5 minutes of the, and then just got busy or something. But I shall one day. But yeah,
One day.
that's our
Those are
shots. You know.
Yeah.
All right, Calvin, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about now.
Yeah.
Like creative stuff's over. You can.
Well, Colton had a question.
Oh, yeah, Colton,
Oh,
you wanna ask
yeah.
me a question.
I feel like in some MMOs, I just feel like it's just become a daily grind. Almost all the excuse is that the developers are just pushing more daily content that you just log in, get the stuff done, and then hop out. I feel that that's not necessarily happening to WoW right now, but it's more geared towards single player mentality. And I understand it's like people have only so much time and whatnot in the day to get, it's time to play games and stuff. But I'm just curious if that's just going to be the future for MMOs, unless something changes. I don't know.
So, MMOs have always been daily content driven since like beginning WoW. It's always been about dailies and logging in and not falling behind on your dailies. Essentially, the way it works is you're limited by week or by day on the amount of some resources. So if you miss a day or you miss out your quota that week, you're permanently behind everyone else, which is a huge problem. It means that you won't get into groups, it means you won't get into raids, it means that you fall behind everyone else, and then that problem like exacerbates. Um, that's been a thing since like WoW started. You know, like as long as, uh, yeah, MMOs are hugely daily things. Um, I think MMOs have expanded away from just like 20-man raid content, where it's like to do anything difficult, you need 20 people. But I don't think they've reduced the amount of raids. It's more like they've been like, oh, a lot of people don't or can't commit to a schedule every Thursday night to go, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like a lot of days. So there's more of it, but I think it's just kind of like, do you have friends playing that game? Are you in a group? And then you're going to do a shitload of group content, if you look for it. But I think it's just easier to play an MMO and kind of be a little bit more solo. But for daily stuff, no, dailies have been around and is like the reason I've quit MMOs over and over again. I really hate daily systems. I mean, like having one or two little ones is okay, but when it's like everything's a daily and you're tracking like 20 different resources for that week, it just becomes unfun, I think. But it's
Yeah,
like
that
how they
sounds.
keep people playing and don't let them just rush to the end and grind it out. Um, yeah, yeah, dailies suck. Everyone does that.
So I'm feeling that's also really prominent. I mean, it's mobile games. And I get that that's how they get your
Get you coming
addiction to
back.
the game and whatnot. Get you coming back. So I'm just curious if that's going to be just a prevalent.
That's yeah. Well, the mechanic does two
Yeah,
things. One, it
mechanic.
makes you want to come back because you feel like you're missing out. You're like, I gotta save. I gotta log in each day and save my crystal spheres or whatever the fuck. And I have to get all them because it's
Yeah.
hard to farm them. So you got to log in, and then they have you logging in each day, which looks good for numbers, and you can see ads and blah 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 blah. But also it prevents players from rushing ahead and just finishing the game right away.
Yeah.
So it extends content. So yeah, fuck it, it's I don't like it. It's not really any fun. Um, I mean, there's like WoW has gotten better about it. Actually, they've got things where it's like the dailies and the weeklies to a degree are more like an extra. They feel like an extra reward or an extra setup. Not all of them,
Mhm.
but there's like the vault, the whole vaulting system. It's cool. It's kind of like whatever. It looks back at your last week every like Tuesday or whatever and says what is the hardest things you've done, and it gives you extra rewards based on that, which is cool. But yeah, dailies are it's
Yeah,
why I quit 14 is because like every day it's like log in, do 4 hours of boring fucking content, otherwise you fall behind, you get in trouble. Like it sucks.
yeah, none of that sounds fun, which is probably why I've
Well, it's
never
like
played or
well,
gotten
it's
into one.
playing up until that point is all the fun stuff, and doing it for the first week until you get into raids, it's like that's all fun. But then you're 6 months later and you realize that's all. You realize it's like, oh, the content right now is kind of shit. Like when they come out with a new release or a new expansion, that's super fun. But then you're like, you know, when there's tons of
Right.
new stuff to do, it's fine because you just get it passively doing the new stuff. But then eventually it's like, okay, you're 3 months in, there's no new content. What you're going to be running is the most optimized, like 4 things that you're supposed to run that take you the least amount of time, and you need to run that every day for. Yeah, so a lot of people. That's why a lot of people like quit after the first month of an expansion, and go like, okay, call me again in a year or 2 years.
Gotcha.
Years. MMOs suck. Don't play them. Ruin your life.
Yeah,
Avoid
me
it
and
all
Carl
costs.
stopped playing.
You were wanting me to play Eve after fucking.
But that's because I wanted you to just get lost into the. I mean, Eve's a bit different
What?
because Eve's not daily based. Eve is, are you rich in real life, or have you played Eve
Fun.
since the beginning? Those are the two options. Or are you like one scrub in a group of like 800 people? Or can you multi-box or something? I mean, that's just being rich. But yeah, no, Eve's a bit different.
Wait, what does multi-box mean?
I like how you
Multiple
said this term
instances.
as if it's normal.
Yeah,
Multi-
I knew what you
Multi-boxing
meant.
for
I knew what you
MMOs
meant.
is pretty normal. It's playing multiple characters.
I've never heard of this term.
It's playing multiple characters or multiple instances at the same time. So like multi-boxing in Eve, you'll be playing 20 different games at the same time.
Jesus
Or
Christ.
upwards of a lot more. I mean, it's all like macroed up, and people like set it up to be cool. It's kind of what botting is in some games for like collecting resources. Some games allow it, some games don't.
Okay.
There's like weird lines about
Yeah.
it. I think it's like in WoW. I think it's as long as one input is doing the same thing for all the characters, it's okay. But you can't have like one input that goes and runs logic on all the different like characters. Anyways,
Hmm.
multi-box.
Fancy.
I
You
remember
people are
having a
crazy.
person, you have to have someone near your server, your farm in Minecraft. So like you have to be logged in for it to
Mhm.
farm.
Oh,
You're
right.
like
To
your
grow
pig farmer.
and like right.
Yeah.
Right,
So you'd have your
You
alt
to have
account
character.
next to your farm,
Just logged in all the
Right.
time.
just
I
logged in
remember-
all the time.
I thought you were gonna say something trollish. I remember we figured out how to crash servers. This is like early on, which was just drop a shitload of items at your feet all at the same
I
time.
used to do that
right?
too.
Like
Yeah.
that's the classic. So we would just go as a group of 4 and do it, and then just nuke the server, obviously, right? it was always like our excuse was we're doing them a service to show them how vulnerable they are. But
That's
I
not
had no
why you were
excuse.
doing it.
Calvin, I did it way worse. We did that same
course
The
thing.
amount of times we
but-
would do it, and all of us would instantly get banned within like 2 seconds, and then we were like, "Ah."
Oh yeah, but what you gotta do is when you do it, you have to have had this like mod that wouldn't render entities on the ground. So you would lag the server. So so it wasn't a server lag, it was a other users in the area lag because it gets loaded to their entities on their machines. So they would lag and we wouldn't lag. And
and
then we would
you
fight them and
wouldn't
take their
lag.
stuff.
That's awful. That's awful.
You're a bad
Yeah.
person.
That's so good. That's right.
It was to teach them we were the real heroes, you know.
OG Minecraft servers were like the Wild West because there was no controls, there was no rules, and they started to realize like, oh shit, we need to like ban people that are using these tools because Minecraft
The
doesn't
early
have
days.
cheat. Yeah,
it was pretty free. Yeah.
Back in the
It'll just be like someone flying and be like, oh, that dude. I mean, it's like GTA now, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
I still can't believe that's all. How do people just get? Is there just no anti-cheat on GTA? Like,
there is. They ban a lot of people. There's a lot of like false.
it's just
bans.
crazy
They
how
have
frequently
stuff
there's just like a
anti-cheat.
god flying around with hovering trains
It's like
circling him.
almost
Like,
every other lobby is somebody doing something.
It was.
We were in
Yeah.
a couple lobbies. We didn't play
Yeah.
too much, but we were in a couple
Yeah.
lobbies where
We
got
went
stuck in
private a
jail.
bunch because
Yeah, it was kind of fun for a bit, where
It
it's
was-
like there's just this
It's funny
monster
the first
just
time. It's like this is hilarious. When
They
50
just give
people
you
are in a
stuff.
cage and somebody's running you over
Yeah.
with a fire truck, like that's
Yeah.
funny. But it gets old pretty quick.
Yeah.
Surely 6 won't be like that.
Surely.
Well, if
Surely.
they actually build an anti-cheat, it's not
Didn't they say that they were? Oh no, it was Bethesda that was mentioning. Oh, don't expect that much from us for the next
an
for the next
engineer at
installment.
Bethesda said something about not knowing how to live up to the expectations, which essentially means.
Or was it
we're on
also GTA 6? I can't remember. I can't recall. It was both of them. Oh,
I mean,
geez.
they both have kind of like the same thing, right? Like the previous games are massive, like monoliths.
Yeah.
That it's going to be no matter what, it's going to be hard to live up. I would say Rockstar have a chance. Where, I mean, Bethesda haven't made a good game in. When did Skyrim come out?
2011.
2011. So
11, 11,
13
11.
years. So, yeah. And like if they had done Starfield or whatever that game was on like a new engine and it was bad because they hadn't figured that out, I would be like, there's hope. But they're gonna do it on the same dog shit old engine that's awful, that was good 15 years ago.
You think they'll ever do a rewrite?
I think they will. I think they probably are now after Starfield. I would guess. I would hope.
I would guess too, but
Starfield was already.
Is it one of those, like,
just such an insane
from the
Well,
yeah, like from the higher ups, it's like it's a
Microsoft
rewrite,
bought
but then
them.
they're just like copying and
Yeah.
pasting the same core code and like
Yeah. Well, that's
You
what
know
they
what I mean?
said.
Like-
They said it was like a big upgrade. Then it was like, why are there still loading screens everywhere, guys?
yeah,
Like, what
I
is this
remember that
dog
exact thing for
It was like
Starfield.
yeah.
It was
So, yeah, I think they just don't spend any money on tech, and I mean the thing is that Microsoft
Probably
bought them,
do
right?
spend
So
some, but,
Microsoft is
yeah.
probably no, they don't. They don't spend fucking any money on tech. Microsoft is probably like be profitable now. I wouldn't be surprised. Like they're not. We're going to invest, $400 million into a new engine or whatever it costs. I mean, relatively,
maybe
hard.
not.
They're not going to spend any money on tech compared to like an MMO. It doesn't even have multiplayer, and they have such massive. If it was like heavily an MMO, I would maybe believe it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that game. Anyways,
Speaking
I
of
wonder if they're
Starfield,
just never going to do it.
the expansion just came out yesterday. Gonna play that soon after Ghosts.
Did you beat Starfield?
I did, yeah.
What a
It was fine. Well,
It's playable.
after you realize it's just like it's another Bethesda game. Like it's nothing like
You just have to pretend.
it's a new story in the Bethesda engine. I was like, okay, I can have fun. Once I got past, it's not new and amazing.
2015, 2013.
Yeah.
It's fun, yeah.
I watched some 20 minutes of somebody playing that, and they didn't walk around at all. They're just in menus teleporting between places. I was like, this is horrendous. This is so bad.
Yeah, but the new expansion, it takes place all in one like completely handcrafted planet. So it kind of sounds like they probably like, okay, we can't just make them jump around in 50 planets. Let's just
Star
make
Wars
a cool
Outlaws.
map. Let's just put it out there.
I mean, it's crazy that they had all this time and they have infinite resources, and they made a worse game than No Man's Sky. Like, it's crazy.
I wouldn't say. Well, it's different.
Did you just say
Completely
they don't
different,
have infinite resources? Like,
I meant relative to a fucking little indie dev. That's all I meant.
too. Mhm. Well, they had a bunch of money too from Sony.
That's true.
But yeah.
Well, they didn't really have the time. These guys have had years. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I think I don't
No Man's
think they'll
Sky,
ever make
that's what they're
another
doing.
good game. I don't
Everyone's
think they'll ever
playing No
make
Man's
another
Sky.
good game. Like,
Ah,
genuinely.
Bethesda?
I don't think.
I
I
unless
think
they,
give
like,
it
do
give it
something
15
crazy.
years. I can
They'll do a
see.
comeback. 15, dude. If they're still around 15 years making bad games, I don't think they're still a company. I think Microsoft.
Well, I mean, they're
Well,
still
obviously, if they're making
selling,
bad
so-
games, then they won't be. But if they're
Yeah.
good games, then they probably will. Still
I
be.
bet
Well, I
they,
think at this point,
I bet there's an
people, like-
improvement for Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls.
What do you mean? Sorry, I missed what you said.
I said I
think
bet
there's
there'll be some kind of improvement for the Elder Scrolls especially after Starfield, where I'm sure they're
Starfield
like,
was such a disappointment. All they had to do was make a good space RPG. You know what I mean? Such a massive disappointment.
so that's all they do.
It's
Super
Bethesda, bro. It's not like a little indie company. It's Bethesda. They made like the best games for years. So, I mean, I guess some of that was Obsidian as well, but
That was just
Could
one.
that also be not outing? What's the director's name? Todd.
Todd Howard.
But like when when you're, I remember a lot of the videos, especially during Oblivion and what was the previous game? Jeez,
Morrowind.
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 Yeah, like they were on the brink of just like being completely removed due to the bunch of constraints and that they were dealing with. It's kind of like they went all out, guns a blazing, and kind of just like, let's make the best game possible. But now it's like, oh, now that they've become so established as a major game, have a crazy publisher under their belt, and are now owned by Microsoft, it's kind of like they have to do the more, I don't know.
It's a business now. It's a
Yeah.
normal corporate giant.
Yeah, do the more business routes and kind of like.
I mean, what they're
save face
doing
and
is the
not
right
take
thing.
as
Like,
many risks.
Microsoft buys them out and says, "Be profitable now." So that's you've
Yeah.
got all this like goodwill banked. So use it all up. Sell really shit under bad games that are just rushed out the door that cost a little money because
Yeah.
they'll sell like fucking crazy. And then by the time everyone hates the company, which is maybe one or two more games down the line where people fucking hate them, then whatever, destroy the company.
I would almost maybe bet the opposite of what you're saying, because I mean, like, Starfield was obviously in development before Microsoft bought them.
Mhm.
So now, like, maybe when they're working on their game, Microsoft sees the hate for all this and they're like, you gotta fix
But Microsoft
this.
has a track record of buying studios, sucking them dry, and then breaking them. They've done that before with other studios, like a bunch of different.
What was another?
devs.
What's another
I
example?
can't let me look. I don't know how to get a list of that, but that's like a common trope. Is like, oh, Microsoft buys them.
I thought that was like just an EA thing, but okay.
No,
There was that Hi-Fi Rush studio.
Hi-Fi Rush. That was like the most recent one.
Yeah.
Right.
Thankfully, they got bought
I mean,
by
they get
someone else,
reinstated,
so they're
though?
still good.
We'll see.
Not by
At the end of the day,
Microsoft, but
we
by
don't know
someone.
what, because like, all it takes is a few different people on the team making the decision, and things will probably be different.
Like in May, Microsoft closed 4 different game studios. Then, like, I mean,
that doesn't, just saying that alone doesn't mean anything, really.
What do you mean?
Like, they just closed them. Like, well, what were they? Like, were they just? Oh, it was 4 more mobile game studios that made Candy Crush clones. Like, what?
Yeah,
were
no,
they?
but I think the stereotype of them buying studios and then going and closing them, that's like completely relevant. They're not, starting new indie company. Or like
I get what
indie
you're
studio.
saying. I guess we're saying we just don't know that for sure, and I feel like
Yeah.
Bethesda's kind of a big one. That would be
Like, they
they're
could be
probably
up
going
as-
to invest
like-
about
Oh,
more
I don't
into.
think
Yeah.
Bethesda's going anywhere anytime soon. But I think if the next two games don't show like huge improvements, like if their next like with this trend from Skyrim, each game has been rated like significantly worse by users. So it's like continue that curve. That's my argument. I mean, past
I could see them
performance is not.
improving.
I could see them improving, but
We'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, none of us know. We'll see.
It's all or nothing
It's-
with Elder Scrolls 6. Like that is, I think that's their next on the list, right? So yeah, that's kind of
think so.
all or
I
nothing.
would hope
at
that
this point.
they're revamping everything, but we don't know.
they won't.
Maybe someone in the comments does. Someone can leak it in our comments, and then we
Yeah,
get
let us
on the
know.
That'd
news.
be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, Todd Howard, leak it to us, bro.
Yeah.
new engine. Skyrim's going to be in Source Engine 3.
There you go. You heard it here first.
It's leaked.
Ugh.
On other good gaming news,
Oh,
the
wait, sorry.
Bloodborne. Oh yeah, go for it.
No, I just had a prediction I
thoughts,
wanted to
Greg?
make here as like a last thought prediction.
Okay.
As a plot twist, because of what Calvin's saying and what we're saying, Bethesda's going to make a huge, like, controversial decision to move forward in Unreal Engine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could
see
see
that.
that. That would be them being like, half our staff needs to be fired in reality.
It would be a huge deal. It would be a huge deal. But that's my little wild.
Todd,
And I'm not
Microsoft
saying
don't
for
have the fucking
Skyrim.
balls.
I'm not saying in the next 6 years. I'm saying, like, if things keep going, like something bad happens, right? It's gonna be like, you know what? And okay, how about this? It's not their mainline game. It's like one of the next iteration of like Fallout or something. But they're still working with their normal engine.
I think
But,
also they bought Bethesda for like Xbox competitiveness with PlayStation, which now they've given up on Xbox, right? Now they're just like competing Xbox and PC. So like, what was the point to buy them?
Yeah,
I don't know.
what are you saying,
Like,
Colton? Sorry, I just
What are
wanted
you
to put
saying?
my prediction out there.
It's okay. It's just at this point in time, Bloodborne on PC, the emulation, I
What's
think
that
it's
happening?
the
Oh,
Shad PS4. It's it's golden. Like it looks. I think there's just like missing
Oh, they got it.
what was it? Particle effects. But it has 60 FPS, buttery smooth. It's predominantly working. Like not no major bugs, crashes. I think just visual at this point. But
Cool.
yeah, I think that
Anything
just
less
opens
than
the
120
door for other
FPS is not buttery smooth. Just saying.
okay,
coming
Reddit.
from okay, you okay, again, you haven't played
mean-
the original Bloodborne on PS4, so you'll notice a difference.
Souls
for
games
sure.
and Souls-like games are famous for like running like shit, but they're still like amazing games. You kind of forget, like they're so good, you kind of forget them. So
Yeah.
that'd be
But
cool if
anyways,
they
it's just
figured
great
that out.
news because
It'd be cool if they just did it.
following that process was. Are they sorry?
It'd be cool if they just like actually did it, like FromSoft actually just made Bloodborne for PC.
I don't think they can because it is owned by Sony. That
But
and
Sony's
Demon's
doing a
Souls,
bunch of
so the whole-
games on PC. Like,
And they're
Demon's Souls
clearly
was on-
still thinking about it
again.
because in Astrobot they have the little a Yarnum Hunter Astrobot, and it's a little costume you could wear. So they're still kicking
know
with
the
it,
game
or
still
they're
exists.
just they're just
the only
teasing
reason
us.
I could see
you
it
know?
not coming to PC is if they want Bloodborne 2 for something. I wonder if they've
Wait.
been trying to get Bloodborne 2 to happen, but like the team is like, no, we can just go do whatever the fuck we want. We
Yeah.
don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, we don't want to give up this
That
like
is true,
super
yeah.
famous IP, but we can't make the game without him. So
Yeah.
they're kind of fucked. And
Yeah.
also, they don't have any money right now because they just wasted $400 million in Concord or whatever. So,
I'm sure they still have some couple bucks kicking around.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Imagine
from
if they
the
just, yeah.
But wouldn't that be more incentive for them to make a remaster of Bloodborne? Because it's like I don't know the whole process of how you would
it's the printer machine.
adapt
Yeah.
that. But would
Put
it
a
not
bunch of
be
juniors.
cheaper to remaster a game or rework a game?
It
Or
probably depends
or
on
not.
like what the game was.
I know too that
like
I'm pretty
Blueprint
sure.
did Demon Souls. I'm actually curious how much money it would cost.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree. I think it's crazy they haven't done that. Do a remaster and release it on PC. You know how much fucking money that would make? That would have as much hype as like a new Dark Souls game. That would be
Yeah, it would.
that
It would be a
would
big
sell,
deal.
and then they would probably get a lot of, if they re-release it, they would get all the sales. It's a double dip, right? All the people that bought it before would probably buy it and play it again, and then you'd have fucking
Yeah.
loads of new people because the game's way more famous nowadays, and then you would have the PC market. So it's
Not to mention that you're kind of rolling off the hype of Elden Ring DLC. It's like, oh, hey guys, remember this fun first game that they made
Yeah.
a while ago? Well,
maybe there's some weird deal that they can't do it.
Yeah,
Or-
I'm sure
or-
there is something.
yeah.
I'm
They're
sure there's
working on it
some
as we
reason.
speak right now, and it's just in
Maybe.
progress.
Could
Ooh,
be.
maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
Somebody who's ever
Well, also
whoever's
like
working
the
on it, make it-
emulation, if that
people
gets
up
really
with the point.
popular, if that gets really popular, what's happened in the past with like fan projects like that is that gets popular, and then the company goes, "Oh, there is a like an audience for this that really, really, really wants to play this game." That's how WoW Classic happened. Was like it was like all player emulated servers and stuff, and player run servers and private servers that all got shut down, and then a couple years later they're like, "We remade Classic for you."
Well, they saw how old school RuneScape, because that was before WoW Classic. So they probably saw that. They're like,
Yeah, RuneScape was pretty much like the start of all MMOs, right?
Yeah, it's the
I mean,
Godfather.
yeah.
They started it all. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. What
Yeah.
is the first MMO?
EverQuest. EverQuest might be kind of the
This guy was-
granddaddy,
Hmm.
I think.
Could be something like some pixel art game, something like technically speaking, if you plug your computers in.
Well, there's also like, are you talking about the
Habitat
first MMO that was like a
1986.
real game, or are you talking about the first game that was technically an MMO? Right?
I don't know because
Neverwinter Nights.
Nights,
Oh,
yeah.
Neverwinter Nights. Yeah.
But then there's stuff
There you go.
Kingdom of
Really? There's
Drakkar,
nothing
which is
older than this, though?
1989.
Google
Jack
says,
Harris.
"Oh, it's an AI answer."
1986, it's
2000s.
Habitat.
Oh, Ultima Online.
But
was
these didn't have
deal.
internet.
Yeah, EverQuest was kind of like a big deal because it was really big, and then WoW.
I remember
came
EverQuest
around.
being the big. That's the one that
Ultima
spawned
Online,
everything. But
1997.
Wikipedia says the first commercial MMORPG Although what constitutes master requires qualification when discussing mid to 1980 mainframe, blah, 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 was Island of Kesme, designed by blah, blah, blah. This roguelike
Okay, that
became... blah, 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 blah.
What was Island of Please Kiss Me? What was that?
Kesme, I hear what you say now.
I mean, it was all like, they were all like okay games that stuck around for a little bit, and then WoW showed up, and everyone was like, wow. And that was just kind of like such a juggernaut, and that still kind of is. I don't know if anyone has bigger player counts than them, other than like Fortnite and stuff like that.
Right.
Island of Kesme. Or Kesmai.
Oh,
1985.
Kiss My what?
Yeah.
It supported up to 100 players.
I wouldn't call that an MMO. Then. MMO is like at least, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what I was
Hey,
saying.
100 players. That's pretty massive.
I guess back then.
Yeah.
Back then, that was
think,
probably crazy. Yeah. It was like,
Yeah.
what? More
I
than
wonder if they had
1985.
What'd you say?
1985, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
No,
so like 20
Legend
years
of
before
Kesme.
WoW.
Yeah.
The
I
game
wouldn't
was
call that
available on CompuServe for no additional charge, but CompuServe charged $6 per hour for 300 baud. I don't know what that is.
$6 an
players
hour.
could also
That's
order
like
an optional.
back
Like
then,
a
it's like
handy.
$600 an hour.
Yeah. Oh,
20
boy.
or something.
The game processed one command every 10 seconds, which equates to
Jesus
1 2/3
Christ.
cents per command.
Oh, my goodness.
Weird.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
how exciting! What a wonderful experience. Can you
What a
imagine
way.
you're trying to do erotic role play at a message every 10 seconds, and then that means the round trip time is 20 seconds. By the way, so that means if you send "I'm taking my clothes off," you gotta wait 20 seconds before the other guy sends a message back.
Yeah. Well,
Remember that Unity CO guy or the EA CO guy that does the whole you pay money when you pull the trigger idea? I still think about that.
It
I'm
was
like, that's
it
kind
was
of
also
like,
kind of like a misquote because it was like just like he was using it as an example to talk.
I
about
know, but I'm thinking of the literal implication, like that. There's something there, that. I'm just saying, like, I was thinking from my personal impulsive experience, if I'm like in a game in Smash Bros or something,
Price
and
was
it's
the
like $20 for an extra stock, I'm like
you can
smashing
just
that button.
go play pay to win games. Here's the thing. Here's the problem with pay to win. Anytime somebody I know gets into I'm going to do pay to win. What they eventually run into is somebody who actually have money, and then they get shit on. And they don't have fun anymore.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying like the idea of like, oh man, get more ammo right here. It's like on your screen. and all
Wait,
you
here's
do
a
is pull
go.
the trigger.
An extra stock, but $10 of that 20 goes to the other player. But it still
Wait,
counts as your victory if you win.
$10.
So like half the money goes to the other player.
Car's thinking if he could try to go.
But
pro
that doesn't
again
make
and
sense. It's a loss
this
then.
kind of
That's
tactic.
just.
No, but it's recognized as your win still. So if you have enough money, you
I know,
can
but
just
mentally that's a loss. That's because like if
And
I was on the other side, I'd be
$20
like, oh, bro, I just got $10. This guy.
Here's the
gave
thing,
me.
but the rich guy at the end of the day, all he cares about is his profile and his little number that gives his win percentage.
Oh.
oh,
It was
boy.
your
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
How does that?
I was even thinking like even single player games.
How does it make
you're
you
in
more
Elden,
of a bitch?
you're in
if you
Elden
give
Ring.
just
You're
the
fighting.
company
Hold on,
money?
hold on. You're fighting the boss, right? And your health is down to a sliver, and it's like $5 for a little bit of a 50% health boost.
No,
It's right now.
we're stopping this right now. This is a
Calvin,
bad, it's a bad idea.
You're taking deep fried memes too seriously.
Here's the thing with Elden Ring
There's
stuff.
a-
You can just use cheats to do that if you really want to.
I know, but in the moment, I'm just saying that I would fall victim. So I'm just saying.
Okay, so
I'm
don't play
it's a
mobile
self
games.
call out. I'm just saying I could see that being a problem for me.
Yeah, boy. Well,
If that was an
definitely
option.
been
All right,
in
there's-
wow, I've
Speaking
definitely
of
been like, I need
Brawl
raid food
Stars.
right now and spend real money.
No, we're
I've
not.
definitely done.
No, we're not talking
No,
about
we're
Brawl
not talking about
Stars.
fucking Brawl Stars. Veto.
in Brawl Stars.
Oh my God.
Okay, no. Oh, let me finish this point. Is that there's characters that go from level 1 to 11, and you have to spend in-game coins to level up your character level 11. But then your opponents can be placing opponents that have level 11 characters, and they'll still match you. And then if you have like just a normal level 1 character, it doesn't balance the game properly. Like you can be versing a
Yeah, it's for
character
the
who has upgraded
whales.
themselves. So
Yeah,
And
Can you buy
incentivize
those?
you to spend
Can you
more
buy
money.
those guns with money? You can. Okay.
but like, can you buy
you can.
you
It's
buy
like
that
battle
upgrade
passes
in
and-
the middle of the
Yes.
game while you're fighting them? That's
Not
what I
in the
Oh, I
mean.
get what
game.
That's
Carter's
why-
saying.
So
Like,
it's on
That's
tap.
heat
why
of the moment.
like,
I need
literally,
health. I need
I
ammo
need help
right now.
I need this thing right now.
Right.
I mean,
It's $5.
So it's
I'm
the next
sure
level.
some
All right.
real hardcore pay-to-win games actually do that, Kari.
Supercell,
But I don't
check
think
it out,
any of us have any
guys.
played that. I guarantee you, there's mobile games that have that. I've probably
I'm sure mobile games, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed episode 69 of the Sometimes Something podcast.
Oh wait, this is the special number. We never.
I forgot it was special. Yeah. Calvin,
And we
say,
talked about playing video games. Goes to show.
yeah.
Bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye. Go
Oh,
6 to 9 your
cool.
loved ones. See you later.
Also, I played Satisfactory.
Oh, yeah, that's fitting. Satisfying.
That's the bit. God, bye.
Satisfactorio.
Bye.